work together to deal with the debt.
The time for this debate has expired. I call on Government Order of the Day number 1.
Mixed Ownership Model Bill, Committee Stage.
I declare the House and Committee for further consideration of the Mixed Ownership Model Bill.
Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Chairman.
Tunakwe. The House is in committee. Kia ora tātou, no reira te whare. Inga iwi, inga rio, inga hawe wha tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. Greetings, honourable members. Greetings. The committee is resumed and we are in consideration of the Mixed Ownership Model Bill. Now, members, when we last considered this bill, we were debating Part 2. The Honourable Member David Clendon had the call and has 2 minutes and 10 seconds remaining if he so wishes. Does the member seek the call?
Mr. Chair.
I call the Honourable Member David Clendon.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, when the House rose last evening, I was asking the Government and indeed the Minister to explain the intention of this new clause 45Q, the Treaty of Waitangi clause. We've just heard, interestingly enough, from the previous speaker in the previous debate that this government prides itself on transparency and integrity and other desirable attributes. I would ask the Minister, who's now in the chair, to please explain what is the intention of 45Q, because it is entirely unclear to me. It proposes that the majority shareholder, the 51% owner, the government, 51% of a mixed ownership model company, will be bound to not act inconsistently with the principles of the Treaty of Waitangi, but for the avoidance of doubt, this does not apply to persons other than the Crown. This sounds to me like a nonsense, where 51% of the time the company will be obliged to act in a way that is consistent with the principles of the treaty. 49% of the time it will not. Let's have a little bit of clarity and transparency on this. I would urge the government to accept the SOP in the name of our co-leader, Mr. Dr. Norman, that will make it crystal clear that the new companies, the new entities, 100% of the time will be obliged absolutely to operate in a way that is consistent with the principles of the treaty. The clause otherwise is a meaningless nonsense. It is a sop to those Māori interests who have objected very strongly to having the treaty clause that is within the SOE Act removed from this bill. And of course, it was not present in the original drafting of the bill. This is a little bit of trying to have a dollar each way, to have a clause without really having a clause. I'd ask the Minister either to explain to us exactly how this clause will work in practice or simply to adopt the SOP. The other point I'd like to raise briefly is the question of this new clause 45S, the 10% limit on holdings.
I call the Honourable Clayton Cosgrove.
Mr. Chair, I want to address